Welcome back to Rhythm Guitar Book 2. This book focuses on open chords, strumming, and fingerstyle patterns. You can watch all these videos for free, but it's going to be a lot easier to learn if you have your own copy of Rhythm Guitar 2, so I'll leave a link for that in the description. We're on pages 72 and 73. I'm going to show you the C to F bass run. On page 72, we have our C to F bass run. So here's C to F without a bass run, just playing bass strum, bass strum. Now number R16, we have our C to F bass run. So in the first measure, we have C chord, bass, strum. On beat 3, we begin our bass run. That's going to be string 4 open, and then 2nd fret on the 4th string to an F chord. And that's again on beats 3 and 4, right before we move to the F chord. So we have our bass, strum, string 4 open, to F chord. Number R117, we reverse that and do a bass run from F to C. So that's a bass and a strum on an F chord, bass, strum, and we're just reversing the bass run. We play fret 2 on the 4th string, and then 4th string open to the C chord. F chord, bass, strum, 2, open, C chord. At the bottom of page 72, we have number R118. This is a bass run loop, just as you've done with all those other bass runs you've learned in this section. This starts on a C, goes to F, back to C, back to F. So we play bass, strum, do our bass run to F, F chord, bass, strum, and then 2, open, and then C chord. You just loop that back and forth. Makes a really good warm-up. Do that a bunch of times. And make sure you keep on practicing your G to E minor bass runs, your C and A minor bass runs, and your C and G bass runs. On page 73, we have Guide My Feet for the Last Time, I Promise. We're back in the key of C, so we have C chords, F chords, and there's an A minor chord. And just as I did with the last lesson, I marked your new bass runs, your C and F runs, but I also included your older bass runs, your C and A minor runs. When I go through this right now, I'm just going to talk about the C and F runs, but I'm going to include a playthrough where I do the C and A minor runs as well. So at the beginning, we have a C chord, but check out measures 2 and 3 real quick. We have a C to F run in measure 2, and then immediately we have an F to C run in measure 3. So we're going to be able to put those looping exercises to good use right away. We have a guide, my feet, and on beat 3 and 4 we do our run, and then we back to back, while I run this race. So going from F to C, the bass run actually starts on the word run, while I run this race. Now here's a C to A minor run that we're not going to do now, but you can try it later. Let's go on to the next line. Actually, we don't really need to do the next line. There's no C or F run there. So let's look at the third line. It's the same as the first line. So we're going to have a back-to-back run. We have guide, my feet, bass, run, while I, and then another bass run. Run this race, for I, last line, don't want to. We have one more bass run, F to C. Run this. This time our bass run starts on the word race. vain, race in vain. So don't want to run this race in vain. I'm going to play this one twice through. First time it's only going to be C and F runs. Second time I'm also going to include the C and A minor bass runs. And I encourage you to play along with the video as always so you can practice keeping a steady tempo, but also in this case, practice the timing. Now you can also get a metronome and choose your own tempo if you like as well. And as I mentioned in the last lesson, just because you can do a bunch of bass runs in a song doesn't mean you necessarily want to do that in a performance. Do too many bass runs and they start to lose their effect. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. Your assignment is to keep on practicing the G to E minor loop on page 66, the C to A minor loop on page 68, the C to G loop on page 70, and your new C to F loop on page 72. And of course work on Guide My Feet on page 73. First play it with only the C and F bass runs, and then when you're comfortable with that, try mixing in the C and A minor bass runs. As always, work on keeping a steady tempo by playing along with the video or playing to a metronome so you can choose your own tempo. Practice all this until you're comfortable with it, and then when you're ready, I'll see you on page 74 where I'm going to show you some bass run variations.